Tough weekend series against a really good San Francisco State team that you probably could have won 2 of 3, but some things, timely hitting and some mistakes happened. And just kind of what do you see from the team this weekend?
Sure. Kind of before I get started, I also want to extend my congratulations to Coach Landreneau on his first 100 wins. If you kind of listen to his comments, he's not going to be the person that's going to take credit for those things. You do understand that it takes a lot of people to do to win those games, to be able to just have the environment for success. And so many people have done so many different things and had so many accolades and postseason awards and so many things. And it's been really neat for me to see because we got here basically at the same time. And so our friendship, both just personally and professionally, I've gotten to know this guy, and I'm really excited for him for this. Again, I just say not just 100, but his first 100. And so he's not going to take credit for it, but he does need to get credit for setting the environment. And so I'm happy for him, and I certainly want to congratulate you for that. So as far as our week, I think we're starting to trend in the right direction as far as our team. The thing I told the guys yesterday is I really love this team. I've loved this team ever since day one. Their work ethic, their desire to succeed, and they want to be great. That's going to be the biggest thing. We've had it was a challenging week, and going 2-2. That's not good enough for them. That's not good enough for us. But it's just kind of is what it is right now. And so we're for us, we just got to keep working on those things. It was a great come from behind win on Friday night. Had another great comeback on Saturday. We took them to extra innings. They made a couple more plays than we did, and kind of the same thing happened on it was a tie ball game into the 7th inning on Sunday. Just kind of came up on the short end. They played really well. I think our guys played really well. We played outstanding defense all weekend. Just kind of one of those timely hitting. Just one of those things. Credit CM Houston for kind of limiting the traffic that we had on the bases. I thought our pitchers, pitched really well, both starters out of the bullpen. I was really pleased in what they did. To be able to go through that offense and each starter get through the 5th inning really tells a lot about how far we've come from that. It's been a tough stretch. The stretch continues going to Ruston this week, Central Arkansas. That's if you look at the standings right now, it's a log jam from a conference standpoint. And the cool part that you really look at, we're 28 games in, so we're halfway through our story for this season, regular season, and then we're not even halfway through from a conference standpoint. So the good thing is today, the guys are going to get a day off. They're going to get a full day off, no optional lift, no nothing. And they need that because of as many days we're going to spend on the road. They need to get their academics, make sure all that stuff's taken care of, because once we leave on Wednesday, we won't be back till late Sunday night. So they'll need to make sure and take care of all those things, get rested up, and get ready for another battle this coming week.
Central Arkansas coming off of being swept by Corpus Christi. I know they'll be coming out probably needing a win, I guess you could say. And then what do you see from them that it's going to be challenging, or what do you see that we can exploit?
The only thing that I've seen about Central Arkansas so far is they have from a conference standpoint, they have the best pitching staff in the conference. So no rest for the weary for the offense, who's kind of been struggling a little bit. They're going to be challenged. They're always tough to play in Conway. I know it's going to be a battle. Coach Gum does a great job. He's taking his team to the postseason. They're always right there in the mix of things. And, to get walked off 3 times on the road, that's tough. So it tells you they were right there in the game. Could have went either way. So it's going to be a battle. Always is a battle against those guys, especially when you're up there. I know the last time we went up there, we took 3 close ones from them. And I think we got 2 out of 3 last year against them. So they're going to be tight ball games. As far as what they have offensively, different things, haven't really had a chance to look in it. We'll probably look at it a little bit since we'll be on the road. But no, right now it's just kind of getting the guys back ready, kind of reset after the weekend.
Something I'm curious about is an approach to preparation, scouting. How do you treat like the midweek game as opposed to a 3-game series?
Well, the thing that I told our team, I said I'm committed to winning every single game that's on the schedule. And it hasn't always been, haven't always had the ability to be able to go and do that because, from a pitching staff standpoint, you haven't. You had to make sure guys were saved up for the weekend. Now we still have to be conscious of that a little bit, especially with a Wednesday game. So don't expect Aiden Anderson, Brian King, Will Dion, Brad Kincaid. Don't expect those guys to all go multiple innings on Wednesday. We're excited to see what Brett Payne does, following up, his best performance since he's been here. And he gives us when he's in the strike zone, he gives us a chance to kind of shorten the game a little bit. And so all the guys I mentioned before, they're going to be available to pitch. It was good to see Hunter Reeves, bounce back a little bit. He pitched well to keep the game right there on Sunday. But as far as we're trying to win every single ball game. The only thing you have to be careful of is you want to make sure that you don't limit yourself on the games that count a little bit more, which are the conference games. You don't want to extend your closer 3 innings, kind of like we did when we played Houston. We stretched Aiden out. You won't see something like that in an extra inning ball game. You gotta trust the other guys to be able to go in and do their job as well. So, but we're going to go for it. I mean that's just the way we're going to try to commit to win every single ball game. But did that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, oh man, I forgot. I just totally brain farted on what I wanted to ask.
Not to overlook Louisiana Tech. What do you see from them that's challenging? Is it going to be like an LSU type game where you hope to get 5-6 innings from Brett Payne, or is it going to be a pitch by committee type day?
We're going to let Brett Payne go till he can. Whenever he stops pitching is when he'll probably get out of there. Hopefully we'll see how far he can go. A lot of it's going to be determined by him, what kind of approach, how well Louisiana Tech reacts to him. But we'll have our normal plan of, hey, if we have to go early, who's going to go in? If we have to come mid-inning, are we able to go? For him to get out of an inning and trying to make a change, kind of like we did with Eckert. We thought Sam Houston was starting to get to Eckert a little bit, which is why we made the change when we did on Sunday. We kind of got plans kind of going throughout. We'll just kind of wait and see how the game reacts. There's always a plan going in. It's just, does it all, are you, we'll see how the game is. We may come out and score 5 runs in the first inning, may give a chance to, breathe a little bit. So we'll kind of see how it goes.
Looking at the pitching staff as a whole, I guess the first half of the season, a lot of big games that run-wise that they gave up, and now in the last 12 or so games, no double-digit runs given up, and it's pretty much been 6 runs or below. So it seems like there's just been a drastic improvement, and I just wonder what's gone into that.
Well, when you've got new faces, guys in new roles, you have to see how the pieces of the puzzle fit. You have to see, where does, for example, Brad Kincaid fit in? We had a feeling of how of where Rhett Deaton would be, of where Kane Eckert would be. We had a feeling that Aiden Anderson would be at the back end of the game, but there's so many other pieces to the puzzle that you have to figure out. 9 innings, it's different. It's different. Those middle relief is the thing that kind of gets you beat sometimes, a lot of times, because everybody's good on the front end, good on the back end. But you got to figure out, how are things going to work out? Who can handle the moment? Who can handle the tight ball game? Who's better when you're up a little bit? Who throws the most strikes in that situation? So you got to kind of go through some ugly a little bit, and you can't be afraid to give up some runs. That's kind of the thing in the early part of the year. You don't want to lose any ball game, but you're not at win at all costs. You don't want to sit there and stretch the guys that you don't want to burn them out for the rest of the year, because you can't just get by with 4 pitchers. And going through that process, we've started to see how guys have started to emerge, how guys have accepted, have excelled in certain roles. I've been proud of Will Dion and what he did. The first time he came in to pitch, it was bases loaded. We were up 4-0 and got a big double play. And after that, he's been, one of the best guys we've had And so you just never know how those things are going to work out, but you got to put the guys in the situation regardless of what the outcome could be to see what's going to happen, because you can't wait till kind of like with Brett Payne, we always felt like he was going to be a guy for us, and he's had some struggles, and hey, roll him out against LSU. I didn't know he was going to throw a shutout. Shoot, I'd have just waited and pitched him on Friday against Sam Houston, made it a little bit easier. But you got to go through some of the ugly sometimes, and that's just part of the process of figuring out who your team is.
And then last one for me is the hitting. It seemed like on the weekend the hitting improved. Like you were able to get the hits. It just weren't able to, like you say, get the walks, kind of put traffic on the base. Just what can be done, or do you know, or just how does that work?
Sure. That's the hard one. That's the hard one because there's another factor in that equation, and that's the opponent, and they have to make some mistakes too. It's really hard to hit your way to a big inning. I think we did it one time this weekend. If you looked at what we did on Friday night, we went single, double, ground out, single to score 3 runs. The majority of big innings do not happen that way. It's hard to score a bunch of runs by going single innings. That's why you won't see us bunt as much as some teams do. You got to get more traffic on the bases, whether it be hit by pitches, walks. Sometimes it's just being able to get rid of one more pitch. And sometimes guys just are in the strike zone a lot. The weather hasn't been really conducive to forcing a guy out of the strike zone because, if the wind's blowing in 15 miles an hour, it's hard to hit it out of the yard. That was how we scored yesterday. We hit 2 balls out of the ballpark, and I think they only had their first walk of the game was in the 9th inning. And it's kind of hard when you do that. The team's not making mistakes and doing different things, and so there's some good fortune that comes along with that. To me, the biggest thing that we can control is how we continue to respond. Because I think we're on the upside of things from an offensive standpoint, team standpoint. We start to figure out, hey, we can win games with our offense. We can win games with our pitching staff. Our defense has played outstanding. Are we going to continue? And that's the thing. I don't know the answer to that question. I have a feeling what the answer is. But are we going to continue to trend in the right direction? Is our mindset going to stay the right way? That's the thing with going through a tough stretch. You can see we're still right there. We're still right there, and you're seeing the determination in our guys. And so, I'm proud of them for where they're at. I don't like where we're at, but I'm proud of how they've responded to each and every situation that's been dealt to them.
Coach, you say that you're right there. You've seen spurts of what this team can do, so that obviously has to be exciting. Right now, you're a good team, but what do you think is separating you from becoming a great team?
Well, that's a good question. The mindset is there. The catching a break, that's something that you just have to keep getting situations. You have to, for instance, 2-out hitting, 2-out RBIs. You get more 2-out RBIs when you have more 2-out RBI opportunities. I think we've only had a couple opportunities to run in score position with 2 outs to get the big hit. The more times you have that opportunity, is the more times you're going to be able to come through with that. The biggest thing is to keep going, keep giving yourself opportunities when your opponent does make a mistake, the ability to exploit those things. And then just from a pitching staff, we have to understand that we're still not a finished product from a pitching staff. We have made vast improvements. Been proud of what the guys have done, but we have to keep improving because so one of the things I told just kind of position players yesterday from an offensive standpoint, I said this when we were rolling out 10, 12, 13 runs first couple of weeks. Hey, if we're through improving, then we're through, and you can't sit there and just rely on what you've been doing. So like I said earlier, we're only halfway through our story right now, and 9 games into a 30 game. So we have to keep working, we have to keep improving, and some of the best teams I've ever had, I always felt like we still had room for improvement at the end. And so that's kind of that magic pill you're talking about, the pixie dust, the magic wand. How do you go from being good to being great? that's the one where you've seen a lot of people fail. You've seen a lot of people fail. But I'll tell you this, and I told the team this. I said I'd rather crash and burn than I would not go for greatness. And that's the way that we're going to play the game. That's the way that we're going to go after it. So it's hard. But some people are okay just being good, and but champions always swim upstream because it's easy to be average. But we're going to keep going, and I'm excited to see what this team does in the second half of the year.